Hello, YouTube Nation, and welcome back to the Playground Chronicles, where old school robots wage war in
Dawson,
your toy box
be quiet.
and insects are more than just pets. Today's, we are digging into the sneakiest Insecticon of them all, Kickback. He's a grasshopper, a manipulator, a Decepticon spy, and possibly the best-smelling Transformers of the 80s? Yeah, we'll get to that one. But first, Kickback was made his toy debut in 1985 as part of the second wave of Transformers Generation 1. He transformed from a Decepticon robot into a mechanical grasshopper, and for kids, that meant spring-loaded legs and shiny chrome chest and some of the tightest joints in the toy line. Like, no jokes, those spring legs, yeah, they never happened. But they could have taken an eye out if they would have happened. Isn't that amazing that cool stuff like that didn't happen? He was packaged with Energon cubes in a toy release later coming up soon. A purple translucent cube had a blaster because what grasshopper doesn't need a cool Tommy gun? Well, he does. But that's a newer toy, not the old one. Here's a fun fact. Kickback was originally a figure from the Japanese Diaclone toy line made by Takara before Hasbro rebranded him from the Transformers. That means his bug's roots go even deeper than Cybertron. Kickback showed up in the Marvel Comics run starting in issue number 23, and guess what? He was just as manipulative as you would expect. While Shrapnel and Bombshell brought the boom, Kickback was the brain, scheming, spying, and whispering sweet deceit into everyone's audio receptors. In the UK Transformer comics, which expanded the lore, Kickback was often portrayed as a psychological threat, blackmailing bots and exploding weaknesses. He literally was that dude who could read your diary and sell it to Starscream. Watching some of these old commercials and the old cartoons made me realize how cool it was to have a toy that was a bug and have three of them who were compadres, as like the Three Amigos. Let's take it the new release. All right, let's take a look at this Kickback toy. We're going to look at the movie version of Kickback. We're going to look at the newest. This was a couple days ago, picked up at Ollie's. $9.99. You can't beat that with a stick to get a G1 Transformer. Come on, now you're kidding me. Does have that movie nostalgia-ness to it. Does have a backing. We're going to get the nice up-close pic of what it's going to look like. The universe is threatened by the greatest villain, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't really have anything here to say about Kickback, but do have a tech spec down here. Friend is another word for fool. Kickback is cruel and clever, making others do his bidding by digging up facts for blackmail. So he's not just a dumb, like, the Insecticons were pretty cool because they weren't dumb like the Dinobots. They were a little bit of intelligence and a little bit of savviness to them, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm using a putty knife to cut that. Don't judge me. It's been a long day. So, don't have the G1, but this is a redo of the G1 Kickback that we're going to look at. I do think this is going to be just like the others and a pretty decent version. So we first start off with Insecticon Kickback, and we get a very elongated, and I mean long. Is it double or just goes out? So it goes for a good bit of showing you what to do for all of these easy, really instructions. Then we got whatever that is. Oh, here comes the worst part, is to get these things going. I hate them. I don't understand this because it doesn't have a plastic casing anymore. I don't understand why it's tied in here like it's on a display. I don't get it really at all, to be quite honest with you. One thing about Kickback, I want to share a story while I'm doing this. If you don't want to hear a childhood story, fast forward a little bit. But when I was a kid, these Insecticons were my main bad guys. The first wave of Decepticons for me were very fragile, or I was just real hard on them. And these guys never broke. I mean, I've had these things out. I found a G1. I think it was a bombshell, but his antenna was broken, or his little cannon on the front. And I put him out in a garden at one of my houses once, and the dude never faded. Nothing ever happened. So I don't know. I've got a soft spot for these things, but we're gonna go ahead and look at Kickback in grasshopper mode, insect mode. He's definitely a grasshopper in my eyes as he's diving into you. One cool thing about it, the Insecticons, they could fly, they could go into robot mode. It was a very neat and fun toy to play with. Very dynamic with the yellow, purple, and black. Looks very Decepticon-ish, and looks very much like just something that Decepticons would have. Even though it's just a random toy that Hasbro or Tacoma Tomy or whatever they're called made it, and they're just like, hey, we got another transforming robot. Make Insecticon. Make a grasshopper. It'll sell like fireflies. Size for him is not that good. So the things I noticed first off, this isn't plastic see-through. It's a painted yellow for the chest to go through. And I do not remember this being painted as a G1 toy. Also can't remember if that's even on there, to be quite honest with you, which I'm sure it was, because of this is just a redo of that toy. And then these are painted silver instead of being a shiny chrome. And everything is plastic. The chest piece feels a little metally, but most of it's plastic. Easy transformation for this dude. He is a little guy. If I wish I had some of my other toys, but to kind of put it in, this is a terrible comparison because it's not even close. But to put him up next to Perceptor, he's just really one of Perceptor's legs. It's one of those problems that Transformers G1 stuff had. Nobody had a good scale going on back then. It was just pump and go. So his feet do that. The wings are going to go into the back as such. I do like having my wings up. I have seen some people fold them down like this. I'll show you that here in a second, though. These just fold down, and the two hands that are like this connect to make one claw, which is kind of cool. Does have that articulation. The antennas were something on the G1 that were very breakable as a playability toy. And then the head just turns around and bam. And there you have Kickback, which is a cool toy. I love it. I love the look of it. There's not a chance this was yellow back in the day. That's a really good nod to him. I didn't realize how little Kickback was. Leave me a comment down below. Was Kickback that little? Was he Bumblebee size and I just didn't remember it? Because I thought they were just maybe a little bit bigger. I thought they were the size of like Ironhide or Wheeljack or something like that. But I may have lost my mind here. So this was the era of the no plastic stuff. So you just get a little tissue paper, get a whole lot of Energon cubes. We've seen these coming in these redos of the movie. They're real cool. I love them. The little epoxy softish plastic, and then the gun, which was chrome at one point and then yellowed a lot, but it just slides on as such on the claw. And I always liked his gun because at this time it was like a Tommy gun. Reminded me of Dick Tracy a lot, or I guess Dick Tracy reminded me of this gun when I was a kid because I think these came out first. But this is Kickback. I hope you enjoyed this review. Now let's get back and let's learn a little bit more about some of the other parts of Kickback's backstory and all of his stuff, because he really is a fascinating character. All right, let's go learn some stuff. In the original G1 cartoon, Kickback appeared alongside with his fellow Insecticons Bombshell and Shrapnel. And while they were most likely about eating everything in sight and growing, Kickback stood out as a slick talker. His tricked humans, coerced Autobots, and even manipulated Megatron himself when he wasn't chewing metal. He was chewing scenery. His grasshopper mode gave animators a reason to make him leap and bounce into every frame. Half of his screen time is just an acrobatic flex. Kickback was voiced by Clive Revill, a British-born actor with serious range. You might not know the name, but you've heard him 100%. He was the original Emperor Palpatine in The Empire Strikes Back before George Lucas replaced him. Revell gave Kickback a posh, sinister tone like a Shakespearean villain who was also part cricket. Revell voiced other characters in G1 too, including Chrome Dome and Huffer. He was also Alfred in Batman the Animated Series. Kickback did appear in the 1986 Transformers the movie, briefly. He's one of the Insecticon seed in one of our clips and at Autobot City Battle. Though his fate is fuzzy, some say he became one of the sweeps. Others say he just bugged out or got his head ran over, one of the two. He's shown up in modern media too. The Transformers Fall for Cybertron, where he's a giant nightmare boss, to Transformers Earth Wars, where he's a sneaky tactician. In newer lore, Kickback is often portrayed as a spy master or an integrator. His greatest weapon? Not his mandibles, his manipulation. Some Easter eggs and hidden facts about Kickback. G1 figure included working insect legs powered by springs. His tech spec rated him a 10 in dexterity, which means he could tap dance over a minefield if needed. In Japan, Kickback and the Insecticons were also considered clones, not separate Decepticons, a weird lore difference that explains their swarm logic in the cartoon. For a fan theory, there's even a fan theory out there that Kickback's obsession with betrayal influenced the creation of later Decepticons like Knockout and Slipstream, the snarky schemers of modern Transformers. Whether you knew him as the grasshopper on your toy shelf or as the backstabbing bug on your screen, Kickback is proof that the smallest bots can do the biggest damage, especially if you trust them. So next time your friends are running into battle, just smile, hop on the side, and let chaos unfold, because that's what Kickback would do. Long live the swarm. Hope you all liked this. Please like, subscribe, add any comments to it, and we hope you enjoy the next time. Peace out.